Oh my goodness, it is finally here. The moment of truth, the moment we've all been waiting for a very long time. The all-new Peugeot 5008, 5008. And this brings me down to a very big question. Should the Skoda Kodiaq start freaking out? Because believe it or not, this beast costs only 61,000 euros and there's absolutely no hint that this is indeed a budget brand. This looks like something a premium car manufacturer would build, and that was not the same impression I had when I reviewed the Skoda Kodiaq. Oh my goodness, you will not believe this. This Peugeot 5008 is electric indeed. So what we're actually looking at is a 61,000 euro crossover SUV meant to pick a fight with the Skoda Kodiaq, and that too, it's electric. Oh my goodness. The Volkswagen Group and the Japanese competitors really have to get their acts together. Oh my goodness, can we just take a moment and admire the view of the interior from here? It looks like Paris, quite literally. Exact same thing you've seen in the Peugeot 3008, the 3008. Now I want to talk about my first impression of this Peugeot 5008. They gave a cat-looking front design. It's supposed to be an imitation of an actual lion. And look at the way they've done it. The bigger and prouder Peugeot badge. Already I just spotted you get a 360-degree parking camera with parking sensors at the front and at the rear. Now I'm going to confess that from certain angles, it had me thinking of something American. That's probably because of those wheels. It looks very 80s-ish, and that looks like the coolest thing ever. But then on the other side of the scale, if you think about it, the Americans were the ones that built something around this size. And this is where the Stellantis aspect of things comes to place. Because you see, Fiat Chrysler are also involved in this whole thing. So I'm not going to be surprised if it has some Fiat Chrysler influence. Like from this angle, it definitely looks like something Dodge built about 10 years ago. But don't get me wrong, the design still looks very evolutionary to the previous generation Peugeot 5008. Now before we go inside, let's just appreciate the sound of the door. When you open it, it has this metallic sound, but when you close it, it sounds a bit fluffy or generic, but it has this metallic touch at the end. Same for the rear doors. The rear doors sound better when you open it. But yeah, exactly, generic sounds when you close it. And to make things better, this electric car is actually a 7-seater. Easy to access the rear seats, no issues at all. Now to lift up the rear seats, you have to use a bit of force. Now let's climb to the rear seats. Look everyone, I'm in the third row seats. Now let's try to put this middle row seat back in place. So it's safe to conclude that the third row seat is no better than what you've seen in the Skoda Kodiaq. But now it's time to have a detailed look at the interior of this Peugeot 5008. Now, first thing I have to remark is that I'm not entirely a fan of this particular steering wheel. This is the first thing that comes to my mind, and the steering adjustment is good otherwise. You can move it up, down, in and out. But now, another problem is the top handle of the steering wheel intrudes my view of the infotainment system. So basically, Peugeot is forcing me to move it all the way down so that I get a better view of the infotainment system, because if I move it upwards, it obstructs my views. Electric steering adjustments for both front seats, that is super rare actually. And when you engage the Peugeot 5008, you get to see all the lights illuminate. It feels just as beautiful as Paris, everyone. This is what I was craving for from Peugeot. This is what I love. But then there's some things that I find a bit like classic when it comes to the problems. So for instance, the way they've designed this armrest right here, you get this huge bit of plastic that gets in the way, so I can't really relax my arm because it will make constant contact with the plastic. The window controls and mirror controls are diagonal, and it's a bit of a bizarre position, I'd say. And then the way they've gone about this area, it's like I want to lean my arm here, but then what if I accidentally touch the volume control or the hazard light that's right here? Now this is where things get very interesting. The storage space right here. This is so cute. Extra storage space, 12-volt socket, and you even get 2 charging ports. This is decent. Then you get 2 cup holders right here, central console right here with a little tray that moves. That's decent. And then a wireless stuff from recharge underneath. And then you get a glove box right there, which is massive at the surface. But then if you look, the space is a bit limited for some reason, but it's decent the way they've gone about it. So now I would like to talk about the infotainment system. So this concept is very similar to what I've seen in the Volkswagen Group, especially Audi, how they've dedicated this whole area to your climate control. But in this Peugeot, this is actually dedicated to your shortcut buttons, if I'm correct. So if I click navigation here, it takes me to the navigation over here. And if I click climate control here, it takes me to climate control there. If I click home here, it takes me to the home there. So basically they dedicate this whole screen to shortcut buttons. Now it's good and it's a bit questionable because you see it's a beautiful screen. It takes up a lot of space. So wouldn't it be interesting if it also had a function like maybe I could adjust climate control from here instead of having to stretch my arms and touch this beautiful screen for climate control? It's still a cool concept. I like how they, you know, simplified everything by putting it on the screen. You even get heated steering wheel, ventilated and heated front seats. Decent. And now let's check out the infotainment system, the navigation, my favorite part. Now when it comes to the navigation, BMW and the Volkswagen Group take the trophy, but I feel like Peugeot has been going places lately, like the details. Like they tend to sometimes show the relief where you have the hills and mountains. They show the forest, they show you the built-up areas. Just the only problem with this infotainment system really is that everything seems to be in night mode. And then the instrument cluster is all digital, just like the previous generation Peugeot 5008. But one thing I really like is they kept this whole thing as one here. Now, to be honest, this is not an original concept. Hyundai has done this. BMW has started obsessing over this. Oh my goodness, you get a sunglasses holder. That is awesome. And you also get a panoramic sunroof. Now, it's time to check out the cozy rear seats. Oh my goodness, I had to dive to the rear. It's so cozy, I can literally sleep here. It's amazing. Now, one thing to note is that, first of all, the seating, it's a 3-seat configuration, so you can move to the middle seat with ease. And whoever sits in the middle won't have to compromise on much feet room because the floor in the middle is flat almost. So that is good. When sitting here, just watch out that on my right side, the railing for the front seat passenger adjustment gets in the way. So that can be a bit annoying, but otherwise there's plentiful leg room. Knee room is plentiful and headroom is good. Let me check out the headrest though. Oh, okay, the headrest is like a brick wall. All right. Everybody gets a handle, thank goodness, but the handle is like right above me. Despite having tinted rear windows, you get a curtain right here for additional privacy. Detailed climate control here with air vents right here, backseat pocket. That's very flexible. The door bin is deep, but it's a bit narrow, I'd say. And then there is this isolated 12-volt socket down there with 2 charging ports, and then you even get a deeper storage space. I'm going to make a confession to all of you. This has to be the very first time I've ever seen this in a car where every space has a purpose. It's very rare car manufacturers do that. Now it's time to check out the boot space of this Peugeot 5008. The button is right here underneath, but just watch out that this part of the plastic is a bit sharp, so you have to be very careful. Now when it comes to the boot space, it is very, very interesting. I don't see much practicality solutions compared to the Skoda Kodiaq. In the Skoda Kodiaq, you could fold on all 7 seats from standing right here. But with this Peugeot, I don't even know how to fold on this particular seat. Okay, something tells me I have to go to the middle row to actually fold down this back seat that's up. But then you get additional storage space right underneath, and that's good. And you can even put it like this so that you can access whatever's down there. When it comes to practicality, the Volkswagen Group always beats Stellantis. I'm struggling to find any 12-volt socket. I see tether points on the side, although Skoda offers better quality tether points. Now, when it comes to the boot lip, you get a flat floor right here, this exposed plastic right there. That's decent, that's durable. But watch out for this bit of the trim. I mean, it looks so beautiful. I don't even want my luggage to touch this. But unfortunately, in long terms, someone is gonna touch it. So here's my conclusion of the Peugeot e-5008. So, to answer the big question, does it have everything it takes to humiliate the Skoda Kodiaq, the Hyundai Santa Fe, and the Kia Sorento? Oh my goodness. You know what, everyone? This has to be one of the best electric crossover SUVs I've ever reviewed. It is well equipped, It looks very, very stylish. In fact, there's something about it where for 61,000 euros, you will hardly find something that screams premium, because most car manufacturers love to punish you for playing budget. That's pretty much the case with the Volkswagen Group and certain Japanese competitors. Whereas with Kia and Hyundai, they tend to be very generous with the equipment, but there's just something about them that seems a bit behind when it comes to other competitors. This is electric. Kia and Hyundai don't offer anything this big that's electric. This is the point I'm trying to bring over here. This is excellent. This is one of the best Stellantis crossover SUVs I've ever seen. Rich history, rich identity. I'm impressed. Okay, speaking of identity, from the side and from certain angles, it looks a bit American. There's something about it that screams Dodge to me. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. I will see you all next time. Oh, the door sound is amazing. But the way it closes, depends.